to our viewers and listeners wherever you are. This is the Cricket Show. Today, the post-match review of the 2023 Asia Cup Super 4 match between India and Pakistan. The Cricket Show USA welcomes you and Coach Jatin Patel, as well as Cricket Show President Leon Francis. Good evening to you, Leon. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Dennis, and Coach as well.
Good evening,
Looking forward
everybody.
to another wonderful evening
again.
So, Coach, in our post-match look, regarding the squads, after when we spoke last time, I nearly got it right, I suppose. Much apologies to Kuldeep Yadav, as he was not included in my team. But nonetheless, I take my crow with plenty of salt. Both sides are equally balanced and experienced, I said, but the weather did not permit, and Pakistan, to whom I had given the edge, looked and performed like a team that needed a lot more than just the edge. Pakistan, having won the toss, elected to take the field, and there began the nightmare. The Indian batters Sharma and Gill, at a fair clip of 7 runs per over, unbelievable, because in T20s, they very rarely, get up to 7 runs per over, showed no mercy to the Pakistani bowlers. Sharma, quick 56 runs, and Gill, quick 58 runs, featured in a 121-run partnership for the first wicket. The rains came in the 18th over with India at 123 for 2 when Gill departed. Then rain prevented play until the reserve day on Monday. For Pakistan, the nightmare simply mushroomed into a horror story. Kohli and Rahul, 122 and 111 runs, both not out. A record-breaking 209-run partnership, giving India a massive 356 total in the 50 overs. After a second rain interruption, Pakistan started their innings, or I should describe this as the nightmare in Colombo. Bumrah, with a handful of in-swingers and away swingers, was perfect. Siraj ably assisted. But it was Kuldeep, and I eat my crow, it was Kuldeep Yadav 5 for 25 in 8 overs that sealed the win for India. Pakistan, with 2 injured players who did not bat, are certainly in trouble. And I wait to see if Pakistan can make the final with such poor performance and lack of quality on the field. That's how I saw it, Leon. How did you see it?
Okay, I go back from the beginning. I wondered if it was the right thing for Pakistan to do, not to take first knock. They did not, and it paid off. But to me, it seems that India were more prepared, and Pakistan had no answer. Some may want to say because they had to bat on the second day, it might have been a disadvantage. But then again, Kohli and Rahul, they made light work of everything. They was severe on the attack, and they really put 356 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. That was a hammering, and India looks set to be the champion this year. I don't see, and to think about their bench. If one were to, I say sometimes to myself, I say, how can India leave out Ashwin? But anyway, he's not there, and they're winning. So the chances of coming into the squad is really, really dim. And Shami didn't play, and today, Shami, the bowler, the opener, he didn't play today, and they still came home easily. 122. That is just 128. It is 123. Yeah, that was not acceptable by a Pakistan team that has been doing so well against all comers. So then they're on a neutral venue. They underperform or England was overwhelming. They could not handle the attack. And when they came up about against that opening stand, there was no answer. Gill and Captain Sharma Rohit made light work of the attack. I would think that they might have lost a wicket or two earlier, but to put on over 100 partnership, that is massive. And beating them here, we're selling the answer to Pakistan for the upcoming World Cup. They know they had a handful, and you gotta say, India played. They planned, and it seemed as if they had all the answers, and Pakistan did not have any. I see they have headaches right now in their camps. They don't know what's going to happen, and like you said, chances are Pakistan may never even reach the final. Congratulations, India. Well done.
Coach?
Mhm. Coach,
You're
did
muted.
we
You're muted, Coach.
did we been we gave him out LBW? Coach.
Well, first of all, there is a correction. The partnership was 233, not
Yeah,
out
yeah.
for this
Right.
third
Yeah.
wicket.
Mhm.
And
So, yeah.
that is the highest partnership
Mm-hmm.
for any wicket when we talk about ODI
Again,
between India and
in Pakistan.
Pakistan. The 256 for 2, 356 for 2
Mhm.
is also a fourth highest total in Asia Cup. And it's a second time against Pakistan. Previously, they had 356 for 9. And now they have like 356 for just 2. Also, this defeat, it's the highest margin in ODI between India and Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
There are many records being broken or established, I will say. One of them is this team looks like going in a full form. First 2 wickets fallen, both scored the half centuries. And then incoming 2 new batsmen stayed not out. It doesn't happen that often. It's happened first time. King Kohli is the key. His score is 47th century in ODI.
Wow.
So he is just 2 centuries behind Sachin Tendulkar. He's the only one has the highest, 49. There is
Yeah,
no other
49.
nearby batter more than 30 centuries. So it's like whatever the record comes, it's going to last for at least 10, 15 years for sure, in my opinion. And I will not be surprised if he can break that Sachin's record this year, because we still have 3 more games in Asia Cup and the entire World Cup before we end with this 2023. So Kohli has, I believe, 8 or 9 chances to finish that record. Also, he reached the 30,000 runs. 13,000, there are only 5 batters so far has that mark.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 5, he is the fastest.
Mm.
As far as going in a form, KL Rahul was kind of discussion after he was coming from the injury. And as soon as he resumed, what we expect, but he came out outstanding with this century and partnership. I was watching entire game, and I will say I did not see any hiccups or out of touch kind of mistakes, or some of the stroke he may have played like miss it. It did not happen. Everything was going well, and that's a huge concern for this particular Asia Cup, because team is in form, every batter is working well. And then don't forget, they have decided to play all remaining games in Colombo. So where Virat Kohli has put 4th consecutive ODI century in this ground. Means last 4 ODIs he has played, everyone with the century.
Mm.
So that's a huge psychological impact. At the same time, looking at the bowlers, the two bowlers got injured. One got injured yesterday, Haris Rauf, and now Shah was injured today. And reading at the news that they have asked for the
Replacement.
replacement, the standby players are already flying out. Just as a caution, if these players are not able to play remaining Asia Cup games, they can include the other player. So looking at the overall, looks like Pakistan got some bad news after this game because this Asia Cup was intended to be a platform to prepare for the World Cup. And when you suffer some injuries or setbacks here, it can demoralize, or some hard work practice need to be needed in a short time. And especially in injuries, there is a recovery time, which they may not have it now. So that's a huge concern there. So it's a good for India. Everybody is coming in form. But for the Pakistan, it will be the huge concern how they bounce back or how they recover these injured players quickly to go for it. Looking at the current situation, because of this huge margin loss, India has a clear advantage at the points table at number 1.
Yep.
And then followed by Sri Lanka, and then followed by Pakistan. And Bangladesh do not have point, and they already played 2 games. And the remaining game for the Bangladesh is the India, which will be the last game before this tournament's final. So in a sense, the next 2 games becomes really exciting and important, which is next one is coming tomorrow when India will face Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Means whoever wins here will have the 4 points and at least will lead the group and can easily, we can say, that they have advantage compared to any other teams. And if India wins, then I will say without doubt they are in final.
Curtains closed.
Because their net run rate is so high. So even Pakistan wins remaining single game or Sri Lanka wins remaining single game, they are clearly at number 1. So that should be the situation. It will be the matchup to see that the Pakistan will be going without those 2 injured bowlers in the next game, which is against Sri Lanka. And after that, they will review situation and to see if one or both can fit for the final. And that can become the exciting. So going back in tournament format, the remaining 3 games, which is the Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and India, Bangladesh, does not have reserve day. Only the final game will have the reserve day. So that means the weather permitting, we can expect the good fight. But don't forget, Sri Lanka came back in the last Asia Cup 2 years back in Dubai.
Yes.
They were down in the first round. They did bounce back. And when they were against the wall, they did win the last remaining game. And they beat Pakistan and India both to become the Asia Cup champions. So that's like a very exciting time ahead. But definitely we can look forward tomorrow's game, which is the India-Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Coach, would you say, okay, go ahead, Dennis.
Well, you know,
No,
I saw that Kohli was voted man of the match.
Yes.
But quite frankly, I think that all 4 India batters probably should have been looked at. But more importantly, in my eyes, the real man of the match has to have been Kuldeep Yadav.
I know you like that spinner.
Well, no, remember I left him out of my original team. But this is not to compensate. This is the fact that the 4 batters for India all made runs. So they really didn't, as you could say, make the difference as much as Yadav taking those 5 wickets for 28 when he came on. He essentially won the match because Pakistan scored, 128?
28, yeah.
Kohli made 122. So all the others, if you look at it that way, it could have been superfluous. So Kuldeep Yadav should have been voted man of the match, and I think Virat got it simply because he is Virat.
No. I thought he played he played a major role in amassing that big super total of 350 odd. He played a part. Remember, Kohli was up and down. He was scoring a little bit and being dismissed early. So to have gone the extra mile after a good start, I thought he deserved it. I don't thought he deserved it, and to score the top score, I think he deserved it. But
But
then you
yeah,
have to put the spinner into contention. But I believe that total that was amassed was sufficient to at least dishearten the Pakistanis. Go
yeah.
ahead, as you were saying.
The point
Mhm.
I'm making here is that Rahul scored 111 not out, Kohli 122. There is
That's
not a great deal of difference between their total score. You still have to give Sharma and Gill credit because of their partnership. So essentially, all four batters should have been in contention. But the winning stroke, really, in my opinion, was Kuldeep Yadav. There's just no two ways of looking at it. How do you see it, Coach?
Well, the criteria is always it's a different way to look at it. I understand your opinion there or your thought process, but if you look at in reality, when India lost that first wicket, Virat Kohli walks in at number 3, and he
Mhm.
settled down the entire inning. Even when the rain started, the interruptions were there. After the rain, when they resumed the second day, he is the one was a mainstay in terms of holding the wicket as well as rotating strike and building the partnership. And he kept continuing until they realized now we are in good shape. We have plenty of batters. We can go for the runs. And that is the point he picked up his average. It's a strike rate. Before that, it was a lower. Both were like 50s, 60s, something, right? So, in other words, in my opinion, he is the key performer for this game because his role was good enough so the India can make that 356. His
Mhm.
role was good enough to support the KL Rahul, who is coming from injury. And no one expected this performance that quickly. But I give a credit to Virat Kohli. In entire partnership, he took the
Yeah.
leadership role. He faced that tough challenge against Sahin Afridi, and he normalized a lot of Pakistani bowlers. And by rotating strike by both, but the bigger initiative goes to the Virat Kohli as he took senior player role or senior batsman role at the crease, and he anchored the entire inning. Now, when you say bowler, when you have this much score, the team has to go for the runs. And then you are
Yep.
coming back again after the another rain interruption today also. And when they resume, the ball wasn't going far or rolling on the ground. And that is where Kuldeep Yadav used to take those 5 wickets. Yes, credit goes to him also. But at the same time, Pakistan was under so much pressure that they have to go behind somewhere. And that is all wickets are. So, in other words, what is the first thing first? So, that's a Virat Kohli. And that is the only
Mhm.
way you can say, right? What happens in the India don't have big score and the openers come out and start hitting fours and sixes? What the bowler gonna do? No. Kohli is the one give the enough room for the bowlers, right, to take care of the all 8 wickets.
That was the way I see it too. And in addition to that, he was scoring at a higher run rate than the others. He scored his 120 something runs under 100 balls. So he wasn't dull at all. It's good to see that the spinner could have gotten the 5 for 17, but like you said, Jatin, the runs had got to be scored. And it wasn't easy for them to bat. I think they get not the worst, but not the best. Well, India had a better platform to bat on, and it was a no contest in my view. I couldn't see how they'll give him that ahead of Kohli because the runs was scored, and that was an obstacle for the Pakistanis. They had to fight, and then to be batting on the second day when the conditions were not as good as what India had to deal with on the first day. But Kohli found a way to bat, and not only bat attractive. And that's what counts in my view.
Not
Yeah.
only that, if you follow this game and really think about it, batting was easy when the India opened the inning.
Yeah.
After that, because of these rain stoppage and interruptions and delays and those sort, it was a difficult to score on. And during that time, he anchored at least the game, like, hey, I'm here. I want to stay all 50 overs, no matter what. And that is also give a breather, we call it, means comfort zone for the KL Rahul. Hey, don't be panic. I'm here. You just support me. We're going to keep continue doing one run at a time. And that's how these senior batters do in international level. And that is the reason I will say, if I have to go for man of the match, I'll go for Virat Kohli too.
Me too.
Well,
And don't be surprised, Coach and Dennis, that Kohli has some big plans for the World Cup. I
Yep.
believe he's targeting the World Cup. He wants to leave there with some outstanding performances. So don't write him off. He looks focused, he looks fit, and he is not perturbed about not being captain or anything of the sort. All his concern is to make India win the World Cup, and his performance at the top of the business. He's aiming for that 3 other centuries to surpass Sachin. So who knows? We may see something great. I hope that he does it, because I like him as a batsman, and he is a class player, and he seems as if he puts a lot of effort into his batting, even though he doesn't score much. He's hard to dismiss. Watch out for him come the World Cup.
And he can take those previous experience in the past World Cups. They are played in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, or Pakistan. The Asian team is going up all the way. That means now we have to concern about these 4 teams, especially never happens. Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, and Pakistan. The reason for that, these are the teams are used to play under the South Asian conditions all the time. India is playing home, and the biggest advantage is their home crowd. So if you combine them, I will not be surprised to see that team can perform really well on any given day.
Am I correct in saying this since 2016 that India has not won a World Cup? Or is it
2009?
No.
You know, I'm wondering if perhaps Pakistan came in feeling
overconfidence,
because they had just come off that 3-match series drubbing of South Africa in ODIs, whereas India had not played any ODI matches for quite a while leading up to this Asia Cup. So Pakistan must have come in feeling that they were really on top of things. Shaheen was somewhat brought down to par by the relentless, Kohli and Rahul. He had early strike when he had Gil, when Gil was out. I think it was Gil that he had out. He he had early strikes, so he thought, well, maybe this was going to be in his day. But of course, it did not materialize. 1 for 79 in a 10 over situation for Shaheen. It's got to be one of his worst performances in what has to be many, many matches. As for Ashraf, I don't know, quite likely he may not get the opportunity again this time round, barring injuries consideration, because his 0 for 74 in 10 overs was certainly not something you can laud in any way. At one point, it was said that India batted well on the first day. They batted well on the second day, but it was perhaps in the air that the weather relation, the weather may have influenced the performance of Pakistan. But since India batted on the same day, under the same condition, I don't see that you can blame weather conditions for Pakistan's poor performance. It has to be that Pakistan came in overconfident, and in the meantime, India came with, as I said earlier on the preview, India's goal was not ever to be defeated in this match. And I see that they did live up to that. Back to you there, Coach.
Well, if you look at it, yeah, go ahead, Leon.
Yeah, I will say one thing you said there, Dennis. India especially don't want Pakistan beat them at all.
Well,
Take it from me.
yes.
Yes.
It's a both teams like that. Usually that's how the rivalries are.
The
And
rivalry
we love to see these fights, but if you look at this preparation, India did play the last ODI in West Indies, but it was a completely different squad. They rested so many senior players for Asia Cup and World Cup. And even today, when you see Sammy, Akshar Patel on a sideline, means they are still going through that workload situation to make sure the player stays fit. Bumrah came in, but Bumrah got that initial spell. And after that, he was rested because he wasn't needed, because the spinners took care of it. So it's like, if you look, this a whole situation, India is still going as a conservative approach, I will say, to make sure that we don't want to take big risks. We don't let any injuries happen with any player. And at the same time, let's do our best to prepare and practice for the World Cup games. And that is what they succeed. The weather did impact it today because it was a little bit tough when they started the second day for the scoring runs. But as it's catch up some heat and more the time passed by, Kohli and Rahul were able to find a way to score runs. But after that, the interruption and rain that's what they killed the whole game. And I think when Pakistan started batting, it was a really difficult time to bat on. And when the ball is not going quicker on outfield, that's breaks your momentum. And then top of that, the Pakistan's disappointment came when they realized middle of the game, like, two player will not bat in this inning, means they were short, only 9 batters has to go. So there's like a lot of things usually happens, and because of that, give a credit to the bowler because they did attack the stumps and lined to make sure that none of the Pakistan batsmen can get comfort what they need to get going. And that is what the turnaround is.
Go ahead, Liam.
Yeah, well, India to me, they had a plan because having come to the West Indies and they lost in the ODIs or the T20s, and they went over to Ireland. They were a different team. You could have seen it. And then Bumrah came back and he had something to prove. He had competition. He knew that if he did not perform too, they might have said, well, you're not fit enough. Go back and do some more work. but they are planning, and at home, I think this is going to be anyone who beats India. I'm telling you, Australia notwithstanding, I feel the standards has got to be top class, and I'm looking forward to a great tournament. Some records are going to be broken because even though they scored 300, it can be achieved. Nowadays, I'm seeing they're scoring big, and India could get out to with everybody being able to bat. I love a team that has that capabilities. Everyone can give you some runs. No rabbits in a side.
Did
The
you?
biggest surprise, if any team is analyzing India, is how they are resting their players.
Mm-hmm.
You only see the Sammy on the bench or Akshar Patel on a bench. But at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, if the Rahul is the keeper, why need the Rishabh Pant as a second keeper on the field?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, think about it. Shreyas and Surya Kumar Yadav both are rested for this game.
Yes. So
And that will be this a thing to look at it. I believe what the India is trying to do is bring the fresh legs, well-rested player for the game. And that is how these rotations are working. Time to time, they will replace someone. And because of that, if you look at the World Cup squad the India has announced, Chahal is out, couple of guys are out. It's like they are so competitive. So now they are trying to give them the rest and make sure they are able to perform on any given day. And that is they are balancing out their workload. It's not about playing more games, it's more about resting more time so they can fully fit and come back with the better performance.
I I have to give credit to Bumrah because watching him perform this morning, it was absolutely magnificent. The way he came back after that long layoff and his line and his length was did not deviate much, and he was forever tempting, swinging it, pulling it away. And there was one there that he brought back. Mostly he bowled the away swinger. And then all of a sudden he came back with one which came in so much that, it was like, as they say, poetry in motion. And to give credit to the Siraj, I think it was, who opened with
Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he bowled also on a true length and had them in trouble too, but not to the same extent as Bumrah, because Bumrah was really moving it, and I was surprised to see that he still had that first game back after such a long break. The other point to make was, of course, that the one problem that is very noticeable in the Pakistan camp is that when Rizwan and Azam do well, the team always do well.
Yes.
If one or either of them fail, particularly if both of them fail, then the team just simply fold. And this is the issue where, it makes me wonder why they don't put them both, like number one and number two to set the tone. Because bringing them the way they have, one goes and then the other suddenly feel the message. And my final point is, after today's game, do you think India will make any change for tomorrow's game against Sri Lanka?
100%.
They will?
Yes.
Who will they rest?
Most likely Siraj will go out, or maybe Chahar, and they'll bring the Sammy.
Yeah.
There may be one batting change. I believe Rishabh Pant going for either Shreyas or Surya Kumar. The reason for that, this is the key game you want to win and secure the spot for the final. That's one reason. Number two, You don't want the batsmen come out fresh to play on this pitch in a final. It's better to have at least one game against them. We can keep the finger crossed. They may go with this winning 11. It's possible because India has another game to play
Right.
before they reach the final against the Bangladesh.
Yes.
Pakistan and Sri Lanka, when they face against each other, they don't have option. They got to put their best 11.
Yes.
But for India, they have the option. Either they can make changes against Sri Lanka or go with the same 11 and beat them, and they might suffer 3-4 against the Bangladesh because that will be just formality. You know?
One point here to observe. I see Boomer bowl one wide, but yet his wide
Was down the leg
delivery.
side.
No. But he had that amounted to 8 runs. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yeah. Mhm.
One wide,
Oh,
Yeah.
8 runs.
No. One wide it was went for 5, but there was another
Oh.
ball where they gave the score.
Okay, but
So the way I look at it is Bumrah is
Yeah.
not at 100% yet.
no.
I can tell you. The reason for that, he can deliver much better than this. We
Yes.
know that. When he visited West Indies first time, we have seen it. How he was beating each and every batsman with the close gap to the bat. In this game, if you look at that one wide on the leg side, some of them little bit wide of the off stump. Now, this is not the way he used to bowl. So believe it or not, it takes maybe a game or two, but he is getting the original form much quicker than anyone can expect. And that's the beauty about this their recovery system they have in India. They have to go in a National Cricket Institute Academy and they recover, work on the rehab. And after they recover, they put them in a match environment to do the practice. So when they come back in international arena, they are good to go from ball one.
But I'm still back to my point, though. I don't think you guys understand what I was trying to say. 6 runs were accumulated from the one wide that was ball. Am I correct in that? 6 runs?
I think maybe
would that
it
have
was
been
a
something
wide
from a
and 2.
previous-
He went for 6? Or he went for 5? And the one for the wide?
I don't recall. I know there was one leg wide, but that I
Yeah.
thought went for 4 buys.
Yeah, and the 4
well,
plus
but
1.
4 buys.
That was a
4
4
plus
plus
1 is
1. That's
computed
it.
as wides.
Yeah.
But they have
No, that
6?
was counted as wide ball. Yes.
Yes.
5 wide.
5 wides.
5
But they have
wide.
6. They have 6.
Yeah, he might have bowled other wides too.
Oh, but then wouldn't they have put 2 wides
Aye.
and 6 runs? That's my point. You see what I'm trying to say?
No, he bowled wide twice.
Yeah,
in the
he
match.
bowled the wide ball twice, one on
Twice.
off and one on leg. The one on leg went for the
That's right.
4.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
That's only 2
So why
wides.
wouldn't they not put 2 wides and 6 runs?
Well, they bowled 2 wides, but the runs added to his run tally, which was
Yeah, I'm not disputing the runs, but how can one ball,
I
I
see
said,
what
yeah, it's what I'm saying. One
Right.
ball.
In analysis, let me tell
Mhm.
you what it is.
Mhm.
In analysis, when bowler bowls a wide ball,
Mhm.
right? The total runs against those wide. If you look at the team total,
Mhm.
let's say takes one example, the Bumrah bowled 1 wide and went 4 buys actually, but
Yes.
that turned into the 5 wides, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So in the tally, in the
They put
scores,
1 to the score, but 1 goes to the
5
bowler.
wides as a team total.
Mhm.
But when you reading the analysis, bowler analysis, how many wide balls he bowled, you will see just number 2.
Right. Right.
And both went for different amount of runs extra.
Yes.
Mhm.
Point.
But they have 1 run in the wide column, and then the wide WD They
Yeah.
have
So
6 runs.
basically, that's what when you say WD, it's the ball was bowled as a wide.
Mhm.
Anything next to it in a round is the additional run score. The run can be most likely buys because if it is a leg buy or anything else, it will not be wide.
No,
It's
no.
always the buy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
wide.
they don't put in a
Okay.
buy. Everything goes with the wide.
Right. Yeah.
But the wide would have counted in the runs that was scored from him,
Yes.
right? The wides, yes.
Yes.
Therefore, in that 6 wides, well, he has bowled one wide ball then.
Two wide
No,
balls.
no, Leon. You're still mistaken.
No, but they have. I'm looking at the bowling computation here.
Yes.
They have 18 runs, one
Right.
wide.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
one wide, two wides, Leon.
Two wides.
No, they have one wide here.
No,
In
no.
mine.
No, that's
You're
the one you're reading.
missing
It's a one wicket.
the wicket,
Oh,
Leon.
The one
sorry,
you're reading is a one
Okay,
wicket.
good.
Yeah.
All right, okay, good. I it's wide.
You go
Yeah,
further
okay.
right and you will
Yeah.
see
Wicket,
how
that's
many
wicket.
dart
One
balls.
wicket, one wicket. Okay, good. One wicket.
Uh,
One wicket is correct. Okay, you guys are correct. One wicket then. Yes, that's correct.
Because
I
further
was,
right, if you go, you will see number of dart balls, number of
Yeah.
fours he give, number of sixes he give,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
number of
yeah.
white
And
ball and number of
no ball.
no balls
Didn't
he
bowl
has to give.
no balls. Yes, and then the wides are 6. Yes, I was confusing one ball with the wides. Okay, no, I got it straight. Yep.
That's it on this for me. Is
Yes, to me too. Let me see something. I had something else that I said, but let me see my notes.
item 2.
This will be all.
But
That should
yeah,
be all.
okay, that should be all. And I'm,
Okay.
I did not. I was away a little bit, and I just when the change was made from India, it was originally the matches were supposed to be played in Pakistan, right?
No.
Well, no, it was
They-
supposed to play in Palili. Is that correct, Coach?
Yeah, Palakal.
Palak.
Well,
But
wasn't some matches to be played in Pakistan?
No. The originally Pakistan was the host of Asia
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm
wanted
talking
to play. They wanted to play each and every game into the Pakistan. But
right.
when India opposed and India cannot play, they moved the game.
Okay,
India
good.
versus Pakistan in Sri Lanka. Now,
Yeah.
when they move Sri Lanka, there is no point to do the teams forth and back.
So
So
they put
what
it
they
back.
decided is, I think they played the first round and majority of the game in Pakistan,
Right.
and in Super 4, they bring to the Sri Lanka.
Yeah, okay. I
And
got you
even
now.
in Sri Lanka, the original location, they played, I think, 2 games, and now they changed to take it to the Colombo. And even middle of the tournament, when they realized the India-Pakistan first game was out without any result, they decided to add reserve day only for this one particular game, India-Pakistan.
But why did they do that then? Just because of the nature or the
Now they
insensitive?
want to have the result because these
Want
are
to
the
have results.
two
team.
championship contender team, right? And they want to make sure that we get the result, not the draws because of the weather.
Okay, fair enough.
What is the likely weather for Colombo tomorrow? Is it likely to be more rain?
It's a very hard to predict down there in that Sri Lanka at this point, but you are expecting rain for sure. It's maybe less, more, but we have to see, and I will not be surprised whoever wins the toss will be going for bat first.
Days of weather?
Yes.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Just before you go, the India is against Sri Lanka tomorrow morning too, right?
Yes.
Yes. Is there any likelihood that India? Well, they have reserves, and I guess they'll play. But there isn't a possibility that they may be a little tired, as it were. But
why would they? These are people who play test matches 5 days. No,
That's
Leon.
why I says they might switch it to not more than that because even they played this 2 day. I don't see any hard work or the people need a rest because the two batters did the all job for them, which is the Rahul and
Mhm.
Kohli.
Four
Right?
batters. Four batters.
All right. Well,
Right.
let's hope that yeah, we see a contest tomorrow and not a one-sided affair. Is that like what happened
Yep.
today? We want to see contest, and then it will bring out the best in the players and the likelihood of providing some excitement and some records broken. So
Well,
who
certainly,
knows? Mhm.
certainly Sri Lanka has seen what happened today, and it's very likely that they will bring their A game when they meet meet India tomorrow. But
Or they'll take note.
well, they've taken their notes. So
Mhm.
at this point, I want to thank all our listeners and viewers for spending some time with us this evening. And we invite you to come and join us again. Should be here again tomorrow, right here on the Cricket Show at www.blogtalkradio.com/The Cricket Show. And you can also reach us by sending us an email to thecricketshow@comcast.net. And for good measures, invite you to write our phone numbers down, 1515-605-9850, and keep that handy for our Sunday show when we hope you invite you to join us. But come again tomorrow when we hope to meet you on the post-game show between India and Sri Lanka. Good night to you all.
Good night.
Good night, Coach. Good night, Liam.
Good night to you both, Coach and Dennis. Have a nice evening.
Good night.